Hi, welcome. I am Taylor behind TLB Knits, and this is a podcast where I talk about everything that I'm working on and all of the yarn that I have been purchasing. Today, we are heavy on the yarn that I have been purchasing, but I also have a couple of finished objects and one work in progress to show you today. If you would like to see more knitting content from me, please like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to make some more friends like all of you. So this is my second ever knitting podcast. Thank you to everybody who watched my first one. It means a lot. It feels great to be making new friends in the knitting community. And I have a lot to share with you. So first, I would like to start with some exciting news. I have found a tech editor. So I am gearing up to start making samples for all of my designs, writing things out, and I'm getting all of my patterns revamped to fit with my logo and all of the colors that I've chosen to put my brand under. So next, let's start talking about some FOs. First up, my first finished object is the Great Gingham Raglan by Jessie May Designs, which is what I am wearing today. I knit this up in Kelborn Woolens and Dora, and that is in color dark navy, and then I knit it up in Spin Cycle Dyed in the Wool in color Big Sky. I knit this not with the correct gauge, so I had about 24 stitches an inch. The pattern has 20 stitches or 24 stitches in 4 inches. The pattern calls for 20 stitches and 4 inches. I just did the math. I'm quite comfortable with doing that. So I ended up knitting size 5. This pattern was a lot of fun to knit. It's all over color work. You'd think it would be mosaic, but it's all over color work, which I actually quite enjoyed. I've never done that before in a project. So this was kind of stretching out of my comfort zone. Typically, I've done color work yokes. I've done color work socks, beanies, but I have never done a color work all over in a sweater. Let's see here. I want to talk a little bit about the fit because I don't love it. I did add some length. I removed length from the sleeves because I have short arms and I like to be able to see my wrist. I don't know why I stood up, but I like to be able to put stuff on my wrist. And when I'm typing, I just find it really uncomfortable to have this cuff sitting here. Plus, it's a shorter cuff, and I usually like pull down my sleeves and hold on to them. So it doesn't bother me. I added some length to the body. I basically doubled the length of the ribbing that it called for. I love a chunky rib. And then I added an extra repeat or two. I can tell you. I added 2 repeats onto the body so that way I could get the length I want. The pattern is extremely cropped as what it calls for, but because I took length out of the sleeves, I really didn't use any additional yarn than what the pattern called for. I have a lot left over, to be honest with you. I'm probably going to cast out another Great Gingham hat, which is what I used to get my gauge in this pattern, but I'm going to make it to match my sweater because I have leftovers. And a thing about the fit from what I did not modify, I did not modify the yoke at all. However, I don't know if you can see, but the raglan line is very modern and it runs far out. But that gives it a weird feel in the shoulders. I'm not saying that it's not an uncomfortable sweater, but when I lift my arms, the whole sweater comes with it, whereas in a typical raglan, it would be about here. And that allows for a little bit more armpit room. It's almost like a compound raglan drop shoulder with the way it ends up fitting. If I did something wrong and you've knit this before, let me know because I wouldn't mind ripping back the yoke because it is knit from the bottom up. So you knit your sleeves first, which is great. It's just like round and around you go. You just get in a groove, and then you knit your body, and then you join the sleeves to the body, and you knit your yoke. I actually really enjoy that construction. Bottom up isn't usually my favorite, but I just got out one of my favorite raglan sweaters, measured the length of the body, measured the length of the sleeves, and knitted exactly to that. There are no short rows in this pattern, but I did add some to the back neck just because I knew I wasn't going to enjoy straight all the way around. And based off of the fit, I mean, I am happy that I did that because this collar, because of how this decreases, this collar just sits up straight. It's almost like a funnel neck and less of a crew neck. I don't hate it. I'm still going to wear it. And this color is just so fun. enjoyed seeing the shift from the greens to the pinks to the yellows to the blues. I didn't manage my yarn at all, so I have, well, you can see up here, I have slightly different sleeves, but it's nothing crazy, and the bottom of my sleeves are basically identical. I was so excited about that. I didn't try too hard. I just said, oh, these two skeins look like they start in about the same spot. And that's where I ended with. So this is the Gr8 Gingham Raglan Jessie May Designs. I will link to the pattern down below, and I will also link to my personal Ravelry where you can see all of my projects and some additional pictures of this. I also posted pictures of this when I first finished it on my Instagram, which is TLB Knits, the same as you find me here on YouTube. Next up, my next finished object is the beanie I was working on last time. This is a 1x1 rib hat. It took me forever to figure out what I was going to knit, how many stitches to cast on. I was just having a moment. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this top down. Now I'm doing it bottom up. I don't like either of those. Rip the whole thing out, change my needle size. If you could do it, if you could change your mind about anything, I did it, except for the yarn. Because his one request was, I want a hot pink beanie. And I have tried and failed to find the perfect hot pink. You might see a lot of pink on my shelf. I'd like to say that was 100% because James wanted it, but it's not. So this is his beanie. It's 1x1 rib. I knit this in Wonderland Yarns Mad Hatter color Pink Before You Act. This is not knit from any pattern. This is going to be a 100% custom design by me, and I will be publishing this pattern probably within this year. So keep an eye out. I'll have a call for testers on Instagram, and also I'll put it out here on YouTube should I need additional testers. And yeah, I tried to keep my decreases fairly interesting, right? I don't always like a spiral at the top of my head. I like the 4 compartments, as you say, like it almost looks like a box at the top. So that's kind of how I've done my other 2 patterns as well. And this is in the size large because he's got a big head, as I've mentioned in my first podcast. But on me, it just gives me a little extra fabric, and it sits nice and straight instead of being that weird. It's not weird. I don't like floppy. I like it to mold to my head. So there she is. He's been waiting since I finished this for me to record this podcast so I can give it back to him. So James, your hat's coming to you, and that is my second finished object. Now let's move on to my works in progress. Okay, I said works in progress, but I only have one. I am knitting the Cardi Jumper by Gr8, which is also on my Make 9. Tune in because next week I am going to put out what is a Make 9, what's on my Make 9, and what yarn am I using for those projects if I have it. I'm pretty sure I have put yarn towards all of those from my stash behind me. So the Cardi Jumper is meant to be a cardigan or a jumper. That's what the name is. It's a V-neck, or you can have a V-back, and it's button up. However, you could also turn around and have the buttons go up your back. I will put the pattern picture here and also link this pattern down below. So here is my progress so far. Yeah, I've gotten quite a bit. I'm trying to show you the front. So I finished the V-neck and it's rolling way inside. That's the nature of stockinette stitch. So it's going to sit like that. I hope you could still hear me when I did that. And I'd say I'm pretty close to finishing the body. I think I have about 4 inches left, based off of what the pattern calls for my size. But let's talk about the yarn, the needles, all that. So this is Emma's Yarn Super Silky in color Petal. Oh, I don't really have anything in this colorway or this type of color in my current garment. What do we call this? My wardrobe. In my wardrobe. I don't have anything in this color, so I'm quite excited about it. This yarn is kind of a summer yarn, and I love knitting with it. It's so soft. I mean, when you hear super silky, what else could you think? And I put this on in a shawl, and I loved it. And so when we got this yarn just at the shop, I purchased the sweater quantity. I'm going to Florida here soon. I'm hoping to be able to wear this when I'm in Florida, and it's going to be a good transition piece. It's going to be long sleeves, so it'll be warm, but it's not going to be something that I'm going to be overly hot in the summer. It'll be good for going in the AC to outside and just taking it off. It'll be good to layer with. I'm planning to knit myself some more tank tops this summer because I like to layer. um, but yeah, so I am working on this. This has been my only whip throughout this week. I don't believe it. I'm not usually a one whip gal, but honestly, I wouldn't mind having some sleeve island. I've been pretty busy, so I haven't been able to do much knitting, but that means I've been doing a lot of planning, which brings me to our last section, acquisitions. Oh, I've been talking all day. I worked at the yarn store today, and I love it. I love talking to knitters, but needed a second. So, I'll be honest. I'm staring at a mound of acquisitions. Do we need to confront the problem? I don't think so. So here's what I'm going to do. If you haven't caught my bingo episode, please, I'm going to put a link to it down below. I'll try to link it at the end of this episode. I don't know how you do that. Um, we'll see if I can figure it out. But I created myself a bingo board for 2026 to say, here's all the things that I want to do with my knitting or my crafting this year. And this is not, it likely won't encompass everything that I do. But there were it was an idea of things that I wanted to try, things that I should hold myself accountable to, like using yarn from my stash, no buy for a month, um, trying new techniques. So check out the video to see everything, and I even included a plethora of pattern recommendations for each of my categories and some categories that you could add into your bingo card. With that said, I need to not purchase yarn for the month of February, as I said in there. And I don't know if that incited panic in me, but I've also been hit with a wave of inspiration. So I have something I need to knit for other people. I do need to. Their promises. I like knitting for other people. And then I have been having lots of inspiration for designs. So I am just acting on it as it comes. I have been told and read and have seen that you get the most success when you do not procrastinate casting on your patterns. So this is not for a design though. This is for somebody else. For a white elephant, I had given away a coupon or check that says, cash this for one hand knit beanie, mitts, or socks of your choosing. And they picked a beanie, and they would like it in these colors. They said brown and orange. They picked the pattern that is the cartography hat by Tin Can Knits, and I will link that down below. My first yarn is Keystone by Kelborn Woolens. This is 70% dead stock acrylic, 30% American wool. And this is a great gifting yarn. It is machine washable, lay flat to dry. I mean, it's a beanie, so if they're going to wash it, I would hope they do it gently. I don't wash my beanies. It's because I have so many of those, so I'm not really wearing the same one for a year. Um, this is a worsted weight yarn, and you get 190 yards, 174 meters, and 100 grams. So this is pretty good value for your money as well. Like it's pretty cost effective yarn. When people come to me and say, hey, I want to color match something that I've purchased from Joann's, but you can't get their yarn anymore, this is where I usually recommend that they go. But also for somebody who's brand new in the yarn store looking to dip their toe into some yarns with wool in it, this is a great one to go to. And since it's dead stock acrylic, it helps get rid of some of the waste that acrylic yarn produces. It's one of the most wasteful fibers that we knit with, but it also has a purpose. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that if you want to find a recycled version, Keystone. To go with it, I purchased Barocco Vintage Hand Paint. I think this is newer to Barocco. This is also a worsted weight yarn, and this is in colorway. Let me pull this ball band out. Colorway Autumn Copper. number 5217. So this is more of a tonal orange. It's going to be perfect for the color work in the cartography hat. I didn't say, but this keystone color is bison. So bison and autumn copper will be a project. So I have a plan for it. And let's start a counter for the number of things I don't have a plan for. Actually, that counter isn't going to go very high. Okay, next up, let's talk about this. I purchased this today. This is insane. I purchased some Blue Sky Fibers Brush Surrey. This is in colorway Snow Cone. And this is a DK weight baby Surrey alpaca, 22% fine merino, and 11% bamboo. This is considered DK, so you get in 50 grams, you get 142 yards or 130 meters. I purchased 2 skeins of this, and I'm going to be pairing it with Blue Sky Fibers Wool Stock Light in colorway Thermal Spring. You get 218 yards and 200 meters in 50 grams. So I have a design idea for a hat. I don't really know how to describe it to you, but as soon as I finish that first hat, I'm going to be casting on this sample. I'm going to hold these two together because I'm also going to have another sample with yarn that I purchased where you're holding DK with a mohair. And this one is going to be DK fluff and a fingering to give it some of that structure. I purchased 2 balls of this, but only 1 of the other because I already had this color in stash. I was not sure if I would be able to get a full hat with a folded brim out of just 1. Okay, so where do I want to go next, huh? I guess let's talk about before I go into all of these yarn that I purchased from a trunk show that was at my local yarn store, let's talk about this. I have another design that is a vest. I'm going to put it up here. I've coined the name Lover's Lane vest, but I'm not sold on it. So if anybody has any ideas, please put them down in the comments below. But I have had about a year since I knit my first sample, and the grading in my original copy of the pattern wasn't great. So I have a new tech editor. Yes, I have a tech editor, and I'm so excited because that means I can put these patterns out that I've had sitting there, but this has been a year since I knit my sample. I bought some yarn to knit another sample. This will be my last sample in the pattern. I just want to get through the yoke and make sure that it's all working out in my size before I send it off to editing and then publish it or not publish, but look out for test knitters. So I will do a call here, Instagram, and likely on Ravelry. I will need at least 2 people per size, and I'm going to be sizing it for 10 sizes. So I grabbed 2 colors. That's what it requires. And Wool Cycle Sport. This is a yarn by Madeline Tosh. The first color is this green Rhys, R-H-Y-S. This will be the main color in the pattern. And in 1 skein, you get 327 yards or 300 meters in 100 grams. The other color that I got was same base, and that is color Peach Bellini. So in this yarn, the composition is somewhere on here, right? Why am I struggling? Oh, 100% upcycled superwash wool. So I'll be using these 2 colors in another sample of that vest. Okay, well, I have a big pile of yarn on my lap, but I gotta grab the other pile. Oh no, the box is breaking. I showed last time that I was knitting some sailor slippers. Those are now at the yarn store as a sample. I'm not going to grab them. They haven't been felted yet, but I'm going to be teaching a workshop on them and all that jazz. So I kept them at the shop. That being said, I bought a lot of yarn. Oh, there goes everything from my lap. I bought a lot of yarn to knit more sailor slippers. I'm going to be knitting these for gifts. So I'm not going through every color in here, but I will tell you that this is in Drop Snow. I purchased it at Linda Hobby, which is an online shop that I will link below. It's 100% wool, and in one ball you get 50 meters or 55 yards and 50 grams. So I bought a whole bunch of colors. some pinks, some greens, some yellows. I was really a fan of the green that was in the pattern photos. I got orange and brown again, and I have some white. Ooh, goodie down here, a red. And that's a good segue into the yarn that I really want to highlight today, and that is Adelaide Fiber Company, which we are having a trunk show for at my local yarn store. So let me just make this easy for me to reach. So next week I will be meeting with the designer and trying to get some time with her, or not the designer, the dyer behind Adelaide Fiber Company, to get some time with her and ask her some questions about how it came to be, and just telling us about her yarn. So if you'd like to see more about that, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, or follow me on Instagram, because I'll probably post a reel about it there too. So, oh my goodness, I'm so silly. I have one more yarn to talk about before I jump into Adelaide. I just saw it because it fell out of my box. Today purchased Sweet Georgia Tough Love Sock in colorway Wisteria. In this yarn, it is 80% Easy Care merino wool and 20% nylon. I think Easy Care merino just means superwash. In this, you have 115 grams, which is 425 yards and 388 meters. I bought 3 skeins of this to also knit up one of my designs that I do not have a picture of, because I didn't get that far in the design process before no longer having a tech editor. So now that I have an editor, same deal. I graded it, checked it out. Now I need to knit it. Okay, so Adelaide Fiber Company is a dyer that is semi-local to me, that lives up in they're up in Michigan, or they're based out of there. If they have a website up and running, I'm going to put a link to them down below. I purchased all of this at my local yarn store through the trunk show that they are hosting, and this is hosted till next week. So we got an extra week to buy yarn, but I don't need it. I got everything I could ever dream of. So let's talk about this. So the same hat that I purchased the brush Surrey and the Woolstock Light for, I am going to be using her Charlotte DK base, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and it is 231 yards and 100 grams. This has a very purple speckles in it and some browns. I'm a fan. And I purchased some knitting for Olive Soft Silk mohair to hold with it. So I would have a DK and a fluff to also have a sample. In this, you get 225 meters for 25 grams, and it is 68% RMS certified mohair, 28% cruelty-free silk, and 4% wool. So I thought these two would look really great together, and this is going to become a sample. Next up, I have no plan for this. Counter 1. I saw this color. It was probably the first one that I set my eyes on. Can you see it? It's reflecting off of me. Here it is. It is colorway highlighter. The base for the fingering weight is Terry's Nibs, which is a joke from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, when the character Terry, I think, got obsessed with his nibs. I don't know. If you know, you know, and I am not somebody who knows, but I love the color, and the base has these little white flecks. That's the tweed. They have a lot of great tweed bases, and unfortunately, I came up short and didn't get any other tweed except for this. But this is 84% superwash merino, 16% cotton acrylic Donegal net. You get 437 yards and 100 grams, and this is colorway highlighter. And if that ain't the truth, because it glows. I love it. I don't typically go for glow in the dark crazy, but I fell in love. So I also got the matching mohair, and this is their base Clara mohair waist late. It's 70% kid mohair, 30% silk. You get 459 yards and 50 grams. That is a wonderful deal. And look at how fluffy. That's so good. So yeah, color highlighter. Next up, I'm going to go through more of their Charlotte DK so we can get to through the same base. So the next one I purchased is Ghost Pepper Burn in the Charlotte DK. Just to remind you, it's 85% merino, 15% nylon, 231 yards per 100 grams. I'm planning to make an arts hat out of this. However, this yarn would also be great for DK weight socks because it has nylon in it. It's going to have the same strength that you need, so you don't just wear a hole in all of your socks right away. You don't need nylon, but I like it. I'm just going to go for it. There's enough socks yarn out there that you might as well just knit with the nylon. Next up is same base, and this is in colorway Winter Moss. I'm going to be knitting an arts hat out of this for my coworker. He's from Texas. I know he's going to be cold when he comes to Ohio, and green is his favorite color. He's a big plant guy, so I will be knitting this for him. I think this is last up. Yes. Lastly, I have purchased 3 skeins of her sock base. This is Mary Walker High Twist. It's a fingering weight yarn. It's 2-ply, 85% extra fine superwash merino, 15% nylon. And in this, you get, I'm so sorry, I just got a call. In this, you get 900, or sorry, I have to rewind. My dad called me. Hi, Dad. I'm recording my podcast. I love you. So this is, let me restart. This is Mary Walker High Twist fingering weight, 2-ply, 85% extra fine superwash merino, 15% nylon, 394 yards and 100 grams. And this is colorway Isabella. This is like one of my favorite colors. Don't not gonna say try it. I think it's a great color. Next to Isabella was Kaleidoscope. And I really was drawn to the complex colors in here. So the yellows, the greens, the pinks, the purples, just beautiful. There's some blues. And then next to that on the shelf happened to be Lucky Charms, same base. And I originally was like, oh, I like this, I like that. I actually have these colors in mohair in stash. And I was like, perfect, I'll hold them together. And then I saw this and I was like, oh no, these 3 belong together. So, and then I got slapped in the head with a design idea and was like, okay, it's time. I'm going to do this. So it's either going to be a cowl or a shawl. It's going to be some mixtures of texture and playing with stripes, and I'm very excited for that. I'm still working out the idea a little bit, but I know I have the yarn, I have the needles, and I will make the time to be able to make this. So that is all of my acquisitions. So in case you missed it, please remember that through January 31st, you can get all of my patterns, the arts hat pattern, the thumbnail hat pattern, and the slippy ribby socks, 75% off on Ravelry using code TLBKnits75 at checkout to be able to get your discount. This is only active through the end of the month. So I will not be posting, let me check my calendar. I'm going to be posting a podcast every other week. So today is the 17th. The 31st is when my next one will be posted. And that is your last day to get your discount. So, I mean, for all 3 of my patterns, you'd spend $3.50. So if that helps you at all, please feel free to check it out. I'm going to link my Ravelry down below. I will link the designers and some of the pattern pages down below. I will link Adelaide Fiber Company if their website is up and running. And I've had a great time talking to each of you. So I hope you have a wonderful 2 weeks. Next week, I'll be posting my Make 9 video. And if you're looking to see some more knitting content, subscribe to my channel. And last week, I posted my bingo card video that I will link below or in the video if I can figure out how to do that. Thank you all for spending some time with me today, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.